if you're collecting numbers to use within SMS, within ManyChat, you've probably run into a problem with having the numbers that are coming in not meeting the requirements, having the +1 in front of the number. It's kind of tricky because in the US, where the SMS feature currently is only available, many of the end users, they have no idea what a country code is. They're not very familiar or comfortable with that format. So it's up to you to figure out how to work that, and that's what we're going to take a look at here. So we're going to jump inside of Sheets. So a lot of people, your leads, you store your data within Sheets, and Sheets is a fantastic platform because you have access to different functions, and you could play a lot with the information that's coming in with the data that's there. So there's really only 4 functions available that we're going to need, and functions are just a bit of code that Sheets uses in order to get a particular result. So these are the 4 that you're going to need to be comfortable with. So let's take a look here. Let's see. So let's do that one. So what did I do? So the 4 different functions that you need, the regex replace, that's going to allow us to remove any non-number characters. The toText, this is something that we're going to have to drop inside of the regex express place, because the regex express, this top one, can only work with text characters, and since you're working with numbers, depending on how you're collecting the numbers, I think the system field may be text, so it should be okay, but in the transfer things may go wrong. So you'll need to have this value, anything that's here, converted to text. So that's what this is doing. So these two kind of combined together, and this is kind of misleading, and I think there's actually 5. I forgot to put if. So there's going to be an if statement because we're going to need to do some logic. This is going to allow us to do some logic, and we're able to look at the first characters. So let's not go too deep into this and just take a look at the results. Let's look at these different use cases, and then we'll look at the results. So here I have the this is desired end result. This is the +1, which is the US country code, and then the number. So this is desired, and you will get some of those, but here's another common one where you just have 1, and then, which is the country code. Some people get, oh yeah, I understand, let's put 1 there, so that they understand that, and then the number. So those are 2 different use cases. Another is where it's just the number, where you have just the number without 1 or plus in there, and then here we have 1 with 9 with the number itself. And I think let's do another one where we have the number but no 1. So I think this is another use case that we may have, and maybe put in a space in there. Okay, so these are the different use cases that you may see, and with the combination of these guys, we will be able to standardize the inputs that we have automatically. So we'll open this up and we'll take a look at the results here. So let me go ahead and bring this down and let's see what this looks like. Boom. Yeah, so it's standardized everything for us. So here we have the regex express replace. So really, if you're not really familiar with this, you just go ahead and hit equals reg. We want the replace in there, and what we're going to want to do the first cell. So we can just go ahead and just pick this. We'll want this cell, and then from here we'll do comma. This is going to be, it's telling, okay, we have that value. Let's do the next value. So here we're going to do /, Where the hell is the /D? This will tell us what we want to replace. And then the next is what we're going to replace it with. So then we'll close that out and we'll just hit enter and see if we got anything. So yeah, it's looking at anything that's not a number. So things like spaces and these strange characters, they will be replaced with nothing because we don't want anything. If we want, I can put exclamation point, and then you get to see now we have a bunch of exclamation points there. So that's how the regex works, and it may look like this will work just fine, but you may get to some use cases. Let's see if we go up. Oh, in this case, it's working okay. So you may get away with not using toText, but if you're running into errors, make sure that you remember that I told you so. So cool. We have that first section. So the regex replace allows us to get this result. So we remove any extra characters. So everything in here are just numbers. Now the next one. This is an if in here, so we're going to look at the characters. So let's look at the different functions that are within it first, and then we can see how they add up together. So left is the most important one in here. We want to see if people have a 1 in place. So in this case, I did a check to see if the first character is a 1. And let's see how that works. So we'll just go ahead and we'll just put in left equals left, and then we'll open that up, and we'll just pick a column here. Boop. So here we're checking to see the characters that are in here. So we're looking at all the characters that are in this particular cell, and we're going to say how many. In this case, I'm only looking for the first character. And from here, if the first character is a 1, then I want to do something else. But in this case, I'm just looking to see what the first character is. So there's no if in place. So I'm just looking at what the first character is. We're exploring what left is. So if I put 3, it's going to give me the first 3 characters, 195. If I put 7 characters, I get most of the number. So you get to see, you get familiar, you're a little more familiar with what the heck left is. So since we're checking out the first number, we want to see what the first value is. We're going to do a condition. So actually, this is B4. Let's start at B1, just so we can look at these different cases. Something like this. So the values that are here, we have 1, 1, and we have a 9, 1, 9. So in this case, we're looking to see if it's a 1. If it's a 1, we just need to add a plus. If it's not a 1, that means that they didn't add anything to it. Then we need to add a +1 in order to make it valid. So yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do. So what we need to do, we need to look at the if. So what I like to do when figuring out the how to do things, I do exactly this. I find out different bits, the different pieces, the different functions that I'll need in order to do whatever logic I need. And then from here, I'll do Command Enter, just so I can do this on multiple lines so it's easier for me to read and understand. And then here, I'll just do if. And then if this first character, if this equals 1, then do something. So if this equals 1, then we'll go ahead and put a comma. And then I'll go, oh yeah. Boop. So we have oh yeah, and then we go, and if it doesn't equal 1, I'll just do dope. Dope. So we have that. Then we close the if, and I'll do this at another line because that's how I roll. Cool. So right now we're exploring the if right now. So if this first character is a 1, show oh yeah, and if not, show don't. Let's see. So right now, if I bring this down, whoop, you get to see they're all saying don't. So if left equals 1, let me see if I have to. Let's do that. There we go. So I need to make sure that I have the parentheses in place. Oh yeah. Cool. So if you've never really done a if statement, we're kind of walking through how to build one up to get this end result. So here we have the left, and then we have this in place. We're going to want to change this, and I'm going to put these on separate lines because it's going to be slightly more complicated, because we're going to do concats. We're going to do something different in here. So what concat is, it's just add. It's just a technical term for adding. And we're going to combine, we're going to concatenate different results. So from here, we're going to grab, I'm not going to want to do that. So from here, we're going to explore concat. So let's just explore that real quick. Just equal signs, concat, and then we'll just pick 2 columns. I'll just pick our 2 fields here. We'll pick that field, and then we put comma, and then we'll pick oh yeah, and then close that out. So I'm going to add these 2 fields together, these 2 cells together, and boom, you get to see it just adds them together. Simple as that. So we're going to want to do different results. So if we're going to go back to our if, so if it equals 1, that means we just have to add a plus. So let's go ahead and erase everything. Let's see. So here, right. So here we'll just go and add, instead of oh yeah, we're going to concat. If it equals 1, then we want to do a concat. Oh, what did I do? We're going to want to do a concat, and we're going to want to add a plus. So we'll open, we'll put the plus, then close, quote. We're going to concat the plus with the cell value. So this is B1. And then we'll close that out. And then let's just test that result. So yeah, so now we're getting the +1 in place. This is looking better, but there are cases that where it doesn't equal 1, that we want it to equal 1. So for those, that's going to be this false statement. If it doesn't equal 1, hey, if it doesn't equal 1, then we're going to do another concat, and I like to save some typing effort and just copy and paste because I is lazy. So we go, and then we'll paste that down. So instead of plus, we're going to put +1. That's really all we need to do. And then we'll hit enter, and we'll see if we get all of our use cases here. We'll copy this down to everything. And boom, you get to see all of the numbers here, all the numbers that are in this section that have already been sanitized, standardized. They all have +1. So I went through, we started off with numbers with differing formats here. And then here we have the end results where all the numbers, they're nice. So there you go. This is how I would sanitize the inputs that people give. And there are more things that you can do. If you have questions, let me know what types of use cases that you run into that you need to clean up. And hey, I can take a look, and we can talk about it. Thanks for your time. Take care, guys, and happy marketing.